Good evening, Husker Nation. I'm David Sotek, reporting from our studio, and the Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. First, Emmett Johnson was named a first-team All-American All-Purpose back by Sporting News today. He also has received a first-team All-American choice by Sports Illustrated, On3, and CBSSports.com. Also in volleyball news, Andy Jackson, Harper Murray, and Bergen Riley were named to the first-team honors, while Rebecca Alec was named to the second team. The Sports Ticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Coming up next is the first hour of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Lawrence to throw it in. Garcia runs to it. Catching it inbounds is Hoiberg. 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Hoiberg across the division line. We got 10, 9. Everybody flat along the baseline except for Sam out into the timeline. 5 seconds to go. Sam drives the ball, kicks it. It is Lawrence, puts it up. God! 2 seconds to go. Inbounds play. I'm going to pass out. The game is over. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it.
Ball fake on Finnegan. Spins around. Flips it back out top. Kennedy Williams. Shot clock at 11. Game clock at 37. Kennedy will step into a 3. Top of the key. Big get in. You betcha. A CBA banker for the freshman.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back into Sports Nightly. Kyle Crooks back with you and a very special guest that is...
Welcome into a Wednesday night edition of Sports Nightly, and we've got a monster show coming up for you tonight. The head coach, Matt Rhule, going to be here to join Kyle for a lengthy conversation. Lots and lots to discuss with the head football coach as his team prepares for the bowl game against Utah, and then all the other things unfolding in college football right now. And then coming up in hour number 2, we're going to get to be the first to introduce you to one of the new assistant coaches to Husker football, already on campus, already coaching up the offensive line, Geep Wade. Kyle had a chance to chat with Coach Wade earlier this week, so we're going to bring you that conversation in hour number 2. So big couple of hours for you, Kyle.
A lot of stuff going on. So if you hate my ugly mug or it bothers you, I apologize for this show because you're going to get a lot of me. But it's an exciting time. The portal period's going to start, and there's a lot of excitement around that. But I know around this program, there's a lot of excitement for the game that is ahead. And I've started my preparation probably over the last week or so for Utah, and they're pretty darn good football team, and they do a lot of things that have given Nebraska some issues. So a chance to maybe get rid of some demons of what we saw the last couple weeks of the year. And with Utah coming in with some extra motivation into this one. Yeah, Kyle Whittingham, he's going to step down at the end of the year. It's interesting. They've had a coach in waiting, their defensive coordinator, for a couple years now. He's going to take over, but he's been there 21 years. I don't think he's done as a coach. A lot of people think this is a retirement of some sorts, but if you look at the wording, I think he's still very much up to coaching, and who knows? I could just throw this out there, but does Michigan come calling Kyle Whittingham if he's not done? Right? He's just been so solid. Another 10-win season for them. So interesting to see what maybe his future is. Is this truly it for Kyle Whittingham? It is at Utah. Well, lots of football talk coming up here over the next couple of hours, but did want to lead off here with Husker volleyball as the All-America teams have now been announced, and you've got 3 on the first team. Not surprising at all. Andy Jackson, Harper Murray, and Bergen Riley. Rebecca Alec was chosen to the second team, and Bergen, of course, is still in the running to be the player of the year. That will be announced on Friday, but again, not surprising at all. Those are 3 that we continue to expect to see on that first team. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory considering the years that they had. I'm sure for Husker fans and for these players, it hurts even more considering how the season ended and how good they've played this year. But we'll see. I think Bergen Riley has a very good chance to win National Player of the Year. You look at the season that Harper Murray had, Andy Jackson, and then Rebecca Alec, you can make the argument that she's a first-teamer as well. But I assume you just got to spread the wealth a little bit.
You can't make it all Huskers, although I think we would all be okay with that and agree with it. But it's, as much as, and we brought this up a little bit last night, but as much as we talk about the transfer portal with football, it's also going to be fascinating to see how it unfolds over the next month or so for volleyball as well, and not just with potentially what Nebraska, who they could target, because they do have a large chunk of this team that's coming back. And so there's not as many spots. You also add the three freshmen that signed back in November. So, but again, Danny Busman-Kelly likes to carry a larger roster, and who knows, maybe we'll see some Huskers enter the transfer portal. It's also been kind of funny, too, to see my timeline. As much as it seems like every other scroll is a quarterback that's entering the transfer portal. It's also kind of funny to see some of the local media announcing that when a Husker volleyball player posts on their Instagram that they'll be back next year too. So I think everybody's on watch with as loaded and as talented and as deep as this team is. I think it's natural to expect that maybe some of these Huskers might be looking for an opportunity that they can be on the court a little bit more.
Yeah, patience isn't something that is there's a lot of nowadays in college athletics, especially when you're a high-level athlete, like some of these players that are on the volleyball team. When you have essentially two different teams within a team that could probably win in the NCAA tournament and win at least your backups could probably win multiple games in the NCAA tournament. That's how good things are. You wonder, okay, I want to be the star. There's a lot of players on that bench that realize that they have the ability to be a star at this level. So do they go and test the waters? And there's a lot of I would tell you this and advise you this, over the next month or so, I wouldn't put all of your chips in the center of the table into believing everything you see on the internet. Let's just start there.
Yeah, exactly. But I think probably those and I think this coaching staff also very transparent, as we've heard from Coach Rhule, having those conversations. What does your role look like moving forward? And I think most would be understanding if there's one or two that maybe want to seek elsewhere. I will say this, the difference, I think, with Husker volleyball and just the brand that it is, not a lot of places are going to be able to compete in terms of what the NIL, I guess, landscape looks like. Now, a lot of them have built a big enough brand. I brought this up to you, I think it was at the beginning of the season. I saw going into the season the top 10 most marketable college volleyball players. I think 8 of the top 10 were Husker volleyball players, and one of those was Maggie Mendelson. The 9th, one of the top 10 was also Maggie Mendelson, who built her brand here in Nebraska. Mm-hmm. So, but not saying that it's not possible to go and continue on, but it's just there are very few places like this where you can, when you talk about the other parts of it, which I know we don't always love to do, but the earning your revenue share and the NIL earnings and the brand marketing, all of that kind of stuff. There's very few places like Nebraska in college volleyball.
Yeah, and volleyball does have a hand in the rev share too, which is unique. Not a lot of places volleyball is in that equation. I can make the argument that the top 2 NIL earners or have the most, I guess, notoriety are probably on your volleyball team now. And even with Dylan being here previous, I would venture to guess that Harper probably is your most visible athlete on social media. I was talking to somebody yesterday. You look at the metrics of, they track these things. Alex and his crew track a lot of the individual socials for these players just to see their marketability. And Harper Murray, the metrics and the analytics on some of her posts are just off the wall crazy, more than a lot of football players.
You mentioned it. You told me we were, I think, eating lunch at the training table. It's funny. I told somebody was looking for the other day, and I said, well, if you can't find him, just check the training table, because if he's not in the studio or his office, he's probably at the training table.
As long as there's air to breathe, I will be there.
Well, we were talking at the training table, and we were just chatting about just the overall stardom of this team, and you said she's a bona fide superstar across the country and not just for volleyball.
Yeah, and I told Troy last night when we did the AD show that Nebraska also not only has a burden of these expectations as a team to win a national championship, but I think because of all of these individual stars, they've pushed this sport forward. When you look at the ratings, I think college volleyball has become a lot more popular There's a lot of reasons, but specifically because of the Stars and Nebraska volleyball, and the brand that's been built here, I think, has pushed the entire sport forward. So they carry a bigger weight on their shoulders. When you put on that uniform, it's a little bit of a bigger weight and responsibility than most places.
I've seen a lot of tweets from national folks covering college volleyball, even from some other fans from teams saying that this is good for the sport, that other teams have been able to get to the Final Four, and some teams that aren't always in the conversation, and also credited Nebraska for this being built to what it is, where there is this kind of competition. But I don't think the folks in Kansas City are as happy about Nebraska not being there.
Yeah, the financial impact is going to take a hit. Maybe down the line, and I get that the sentiment of what that means. It's good to have other teams in the picture. I think you look at softball, Oklahoma's consistently been there, and you want, Oklahoma, you almost get the fatigue when it was the Golden State Warriors, the New England Patriots. You get that fatigue of teams consistently being great. So, yeah, I get having different teams in there, but you're right. Financially, it's going to take a hit. Ticket prices, restaurants, all that.
All right, so did you see Dan Fisher's post on Twitter, on X? Dan Fisher, the coach of Pitt.
I did not see. Oh, yes, okay. I did see that.
So he put out, I would like to cordially extend an offer to all the wonderful Nebraska fans. Please consider supporting us this week. Top reasons. We have a libero from Lincoln. Pittsburgh, like Lincoln, is a blue-collar town, and there's no place like Nebraska or Pittsburgh. It's gotten a lot of traction. Kudos. Shout out Dan Fisher.
Smart.
I think a lot of Husker fans will be rooting for Kentucky, but I do like that he put that out there. That was fantastic. But I bring that up to ask you, who will you be pulling for in the national semifinal tomorrow?
It's going to be hard to watch.
Yeah.
Right? Considering. I guess you go with Pitt for those reasons. Kentucky, for me, it's just hard to even. I guess I can't root for A&M, right? You can't root for them.
I don't know. They're a pretty fun team to watch, and does it make you look better that the team that beat you wins?
Yeah.
Sometimes people feel that way.
I don't. I can't root for A&M in that spot. It's just going to be. I would wonder if you were to ask some of the players. I'm sure Danny will watch it. But when you talk to NFL players and they get bumped out of the playoffs, and you ask a lot of them don't watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to fathom not being out there playing. So I would imagine a lot of the players might not even watch it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. What else has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975? Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. All right, coming up next, Kyle had a chance to sit down with the head football coach, Matt Rhule, for a lengthy conversation. We're bringing that to you next here on Sports Nightly.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Contracting your premium diesel just got energized at Central Valley Ag. With CVA's Refer a Friend program, you and a friend can each earn $100 back. Refer a friend, that friend contracts a minimum of 1,000 gallons of premium diesel, and you both get $100 credit. Power your performance with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and Roadmaster XL. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick,
Slate It, and F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick.
Slate it. And F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Welcome back into the show. Kyle Crooks back with you as we're talking Husker football. Las Vegas Bowl's coming up at the end of the month. And with that, we're talking all things Husker football. And we welcome in the head coach of your Nebraska Cornhuskers, Matt Rhule, with the backwards hat, looking as cool as ever. Coach, good to see you.
Well, thank you, man. I made a couple staff changes, and part of that, I did this last year, I'm doing it again this year, is serving as the defensive tackles coach. Phil Simpson and I are taking that on. And I tell the guys, hey, this is Coach Rhule. This is Coach Rhule. And then when I put this hat on backwards, I'm just Matt, just coaching the guys. And so I'm having a great time, man. Just got Riley Van Poppel in a black shirt today. Mm-hmm. He's really coming on, and really excited to be able to have that interaction with the players. That's what this hat means. Yeah, and being out at practice, I can see the joy on your face. Sometimes as a head coach, you sit back, you're the CEO, you're watching all the other guys do the things during practice, but I could see you getting into technique, going each individual to individual. And the competition right now at practice, this is such an important period for the young guys more than anybody. You see the amount of reps that the scout team guys are getting and how the starters are cheering them on. This is a critical point in time for a lot of these young guys in their development. 100%, because it's coming right at the end of the football season, and so they've developed over the course of the year, whether they're in the 2 deep or whether they're on practice squad. We do a lot of developmental work during the year. But I think one of the biggest things right now is the fact that historically in December you're also on the road recruiting, and so maybe you have some GAs coaching sometimes, but now we're all able to be out there and we are focused. We are focused on getting our team better, and then with the addition of 4 new coaches. They're getting a fresh look at these guys. And as I've said to our new coaches, we have a lot of guys we've recruited that have not gotten on the field yet. And I believe they're good players. I was a part of recruiting them. We were a part of recruiting them. They're our guys. And so, before, you start looking to the portal, We also want to make sure we get a real evaluation of our guys and what roles that they can fill. So you're out there today and you see, a safety running the alley and making a play. Coach Orich, that's his first time really watching these guys, and he can now start to envision his system. Because, man, he's got a great system, and that's why we hired him, for the system. And he can start to plug players in, and that then tells us at the end of this period, hey, what holes do we feel like we need to fill, or what players on our team need to take another step so they can fill this void. So it's vital for their development, but vital also for these new coaches to see what exactly they have in their rooms.
Yeah, and a lot of fans like to talk about the portal. Hey, we're going to get this position. You forget. No, we recruited guys. We have guys here that we're developing, and we're creating a structure and having guys here on campus early. And you tend to forget about the guys that are on the scout team, right, that can come up and be big-time players like an Emmett Johnson and some of these other guys. So I think fans tend to forget what you have here and what you have to continue to develop that's already here.
Yeah, we're going to do both. We're in a position now where we can do both. We want to develop our own players. We want guys to burst on the scene the way Emmett Johnson did. We want guys to take that step and all of a sudden, hey, look at that guy. Emmett went from a rotational player as a 2 years ago, as a redshirt freshman, to a rotational starter last year, to an All-American this year. And that's EJ, that's Dana, that's Corey, that's Mitch, that's Chris, that's all the people that work with the players. But we also want to go out and get Isaiah Hunter, Sierra Wright. We also want to go out and get players in the portal that can help us. And so our job is to put together just the most competitive team full of great players. And guys can't be afraid of that. They have to want to be one of the best. As I said to them at the end of the game at practice today, this is Nebraska. This is Nebraska. That means something. And so we want to get the best players in the country. So we'll develop our own, but we're also going to attack the portal when the portal opens to get the right couple of guys that can get us over the hump.
I did want to ask you this before we get to some of the new hires and the preparation heading towards Utah, but the news that Dylan Raiola heads into the transfer portal. Your thoughts on that, the evaluation of the quarterback position right now, TJ getting ready for the bowl game, how you view that heading into the portal period. Just I wanted to get that out there and have your opportunity to comment on it.
Yeah, I think all of our fans, I think all of our staff or coaches, we all just have to embrace it. We're in the portal era. Mm-hmm. You look at the Heisman Trophy ceremony the other night, and Diego Pavia is a great player. He's a portal ad. Francisco Mendoza is a great player. He wins it. He's a portal ad. The portal's just a natural part. And so, I think there's been a little bit of anxiety around here, like who's going to go in the portal, who's going to go in the portal. The portal will give us, and the portal will take it away. And it's just the new normal, and we have to embrace it. That's why Troy Dannon has done such a great job of making sure that we have the resources needed to go get the players we want and also to keep the players that we want. Dylan made his decision, and Dylan did a great job for us, right? He was really the first 5-star to come here and signaled everybody, hey, it's cool to come to Nebraska. And I think you've seen some players follow suit. Dylan did a great job for us, got us to back-to-back bowl games, which, being bowl eligible back-to-back years hasn't happened since 2013, 2014. So I think those are the years. That's 10, 11 years. I mean, so really grateful to Dylan for all that he did. And, if he needs a fresh start, I'm going to pray that he finds the right place. I mean, he has so much success. With that being said, there's a lot of great quarterbacks out there, and a lot of guys want to play at Nebraska. And, the minute that news hit, my phone started blowing up. And that news was kind of out there for a while, right? People were preparing for that. We have a great quarterback in TJ Lateef. TJ went to UCLA, and what he did at UCLA, I mean, our team rallied around him. They played to his energy, and I think everyone could feel that. Came back against Penn State. We didn't play very well on defense. But if you go back and watch that game, you see a guy in TJ that wasn't intimidated, that moved around the field, made plays with his feet, ran for a touchdown, converted 2 third downs with his feet, made some huge throws down the field to Ja'Cory. Iowa pulls his hamstring, doesn't pull himself out of the game, doesn't pout, goes out there and fights. And so I don't think there's a guy on our roster that doesn't believe that TJ is a starting quarterback, and just the sky is the limit. So we feel great about where the quarterback position is heading. I think Dana said it really well yesterday. We've got to play better on offense. We've got to pass protect better. We've got to create more explosive plays. We had a very good run game. We've got to throw more explosive plays. We have to just improve this year. And that's not a one-guy thing. That's all of us. That's us as coaches. That's us as players. And so even going back to, you mentioned earlier about me coaching, we spent 2.5 years trying to reestablish just the foundation of the program. Because make no mistake, it was rocky, and I can turn my attention now more to football. And Pat Stewart's doing a great job with the portal. So we'll have great quarterbacks in that room. You need more than one. We'll need to have multiple guys, and people want to play for Dana Holgerson. They want to play for Glenn Thomas, and so. Grateful to Dylan, but really excited about what that quarterback room will look like moving forward.
How do you think TJ is a guy that'll embrace competition, right? If you bring in somebody, you're going to need to bring in somebody anyway, right? Jalen's moving on. You're going to need to have somebody in there that's going to help add to the competition in the quarterback room. How do you think TJ is a guy that feeds off competition?
Yeah, TJ has no confidence issues, and he doesn't make excuses. He doesn't blame other people. So he's not going to sit there and be like, well, I'm not playing because of this guy. TJ knows that he's a starting quarterback, and he can be our starting quarterback, and he's going to do a great job against Utah. And so I believe in him wholeheartedly. He's not worried about those things. He's gonna win a lot of games for us here at the University of Nebraska.
How about some of the new hires, Rob Orich? We had him here in studio. You mentioned the interview process, which was unlike, I'm sure, many that you've had as a head coach. You bring him to your daughter's youth basketball game. You're throwing questions at him. He seemed like he really impressed you, right, at that point in time. What was it about him? Why is he the right fit at this time now for Nebraska as a DC?
Because he's had two huge turnarounds as a first-year coordinator, and that to me is the ultimate. It's what Tony White did when he got here. Mm-hmm. During Tony White's time here, we had one defensive player drafted, yet we were top 10 in defense. Even this year, I mean, I know everyone's like, "Oh, what's happened to defense?" We're still 21st in the country in defense. It's just that we're last in the country in red zone. We didn't stop the run. And I don't think that's necessarily an X's and O's thing as much as it is. I want someone who's going to put together a system, develop the players within that system, and be a leader of men in that group. And when I saw Rob, I watched the way his guys played. They played with passion. They played with energy. They played all on the same page. They didn't make a lot of mistakes. The offensive system at San Diego State, led by Sean Lewis, who's a great head coach, is a tempo offense, which normally you don't have a great defense when you have a tempo offense. Mm-hmm. Yet Rob's defense was, in the top 5 in the country. And so I said to myself, hey, I want that play style. I don't care what the scheme is. Phil Snow's our defensive coordinator for this bowl game. He's, we were a top 20 defense at Baylor in a 3-down. We were top 20 defense at Temple in a 4-down. We were in the NFL. We were top 2 defense, and we were a 5-down. It doesn't matter the scheme. It matters that your players know the scheme, and they can adapt to what people are doing, and you have a brilliant, brilliant mind, but also a great teacher. And I think when I listened to Rob and talked to Rob, I did all that. So I didn't say, hey, sit here at my daughter's basketball game to be funny. It was, I wanted him to have to talk to me, and I wanted to hear his ability to teach. I had already seen the tape. And since he's gotten here, I have to tell you, Kyle, it's been one of the most amazing things to sit in that defensive staff room. And I'm sitting there as the D-line coach, D-tackles coach. I'm not sitting there as the head coach. And you got Rob in there, and he's, up on the board, and because he's not coaching the bowl game. Phil's coaching the bowl game, and Phil's putting together the game plan. And one day Rob said, "Hey, Phil, I'm sorry, I'm stepping out of bounds here a little bit." And Snow watches another play and says, there are no bounds here. You can never step out of bounds. He said, say whatever you want to say to me. And that's why Phil Snow, he was my DC for 10 years. I mean, I love the man. He's actually had some schools call him and say, hey, come be our DC now, which, I don't know what he wants to do in his career. He'll be back with us if he wants to be back with us. But just to see Rob's demeanor and how he can work with Phil, to see Phil, who's been a defensive coordinator for 20-some years, working with a young guy in Rob, it's been unbelievable. And it's just exactly what we need right now.
Yeah, it's just really cool to hear about that dynamic between him and Phil. And then you go and hire Geep Wade. We had him in studio as well. I could see right away that he's a relationships guy. And he said when you called him, he said, look, we want you here. Take it if you feel like this is the right spot for you. We want you here. I need a quick decision. And it was a quick decision for him. He knows the history of what it takes here. You wanted to bring in somebody, obviously, that is a great recruiter, great relationship builder. He checks a lot of boxes. What can Geep Wade now bring to Nebraska at this point in his career, what he did at Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I think when you watch his teams at Georgia Tech or you watch all the other places that he's coached, you see an offensive line that plays fast, that plays with aggression. I don't want them. I don't want a scheme where they're thinking too much. I don't want them out there, playing passive. I don't want them catching blocks. I want to play with a level of violence and physicality that only comes from confidence. And offensive line is such a hard position. I mean, you're gonna get beat sometimes. You're gonna have bad plays, but you have to have a mindset that you're gonna attack the next play no matter what. And so my experience with Geep over the years is that he brings that. He brings that energy. He brings that freedom. He's gonna let you be you, but he wants you to be the best version of you. He cares deeply about his players, and he's just one of those guys. Like, he's a football guy. He's studying it all the time. And so you look at what they did at Georgia Tech, the way they ran the football, the way they protected. Again, I always look at the tape first. Like, I want our tape to look the way their tape looks. Mm-hmm. And so we did a lot of good things on the offensive line this year. I just want to take another step, and I'm convinced that Geep can take that step. And to your point, I want the best offensive lineman in the country to come to Nebraska. Like, we can get the best players in the country. Like, we're located centrally. We can get guys from California, from Texas, from Florida, from the Northeast. If we can get guys from the Dakotas, and we can get guys from right here in Nebraska in the 500-mile radius. But we need a guy like Geep with his magnetic personality to make people want to come be a part of it.
Here at Boot Barn, our objective is to build the perfect boot. We do take our time ensuring that every step is done correctly. For a boot to last you for a lifetime, you've got to properly build the boots. Hand craftsmanship is, in my opinion, the only way you're going to achieve that. We handcraft our boots. 160 people take a boot from start to finish. We have skilled artisans at every stage of the game. We've been handcrafting boots since the beginning here at Boot Barn, and we'll continue to do so.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at AppliedConnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Great conversation with Coach Rhule. We appreciate him hopping in a little bit earlier today, really getting into a lot of different topics, including the transfer portal, what's coming up here in the Las Vegas Bowl. There's still a game to be played with the Utah Utes in Vegas. So a lot to get into, these bowl practices. He's been coaching up the defensive tackles as well as we chatted about. So a lot more to get into, and here's the continuation, second part of my conversation with Coach Rhule. Embracing opportunity. It's a huge time for a lot of guys, especially two that I can think of right away, Makai Nelson, Isaiah Mosey. Emmett's going to move on to the NFL. First-team All-American, has done things that we haven't seen here in over a decade. And congratulations to Emmett. But now when one guy moves away from the Nebraska spotlight, you have two guys, young guys, now have your opportunity. They've been waiting in the wings, chomping at the bit. How have they embraced it here over the last couple weeks? And I'm sure they know what's ahead of them and what this Vegas Bowl means to these two.
Yeah, I think if you asked every guy on our team what they think about Makai Nelson and Isaiah Mosey.
Should throw Quentin Ives in there as well.
Absolutely, Quentin. I think they would say it's kind of like a ticking time bomb, right? Like, they've been waiting for their opportunity to explode. Emmett had an amazing year. He also, he had a very fortunate year in that he never got banged up. He never got dinged. It's a credit to him. And, just to be clear, when Emmett says, hey, I'm going to go to the NFL, I get up and hug him. When Emmett says, hey, I'm not going to play in the bowl game, I'm going to start training, I say, absolutely, no worries. Because we also know what we have in that room. And every time Mosey got in, every time Makai got in, they made a play. And that's really what we need on offense. We need playmakers, right? We need a great system, a great scheme. But you need guys who take a ball like Emmett did for a 4-yard gain and turn it into a 40-yard gain. And so I think it'll be a lot of fun for Husker fans to see these guys, see what we see at practice all the time. There's no doubt in my mind that these guys can do it. And it'll be a real – Utah's a great team. Obviously we're down one lineman. But it's a great opportunity for Tyler Connaught to go back and play in his, against his home team and his old team, and these backs are going to play really well.
How do you? The portal's going to open on January 2nd, and I'm not going to ask you about specific personnel or anything like that. But this time in the calendar, how hectic, how crazy is? I'm sure it's already probably there. But once January 2nd hits, what does that look like for you and bringing in guys for visits and things? I'm sure it's pretty crazy time.
Yeah, I think during this time right now, we're doing a lot of work with our current roster in terms of, re-signing guys to contracts and signing guys up for next year, and some other players like, hey, you're going to have to go through the spring to see exactly where you fit. And some guys having a great conversation with some players who, really want to play, but maybe aren't going to play here. And do they want to stay here and just finish their career as a Husker? Or they want to go somewhere else? I mean, we're really an open book with the guys. I tell the guys there's 3 buckets, right? There's bucket 1, that's just guys who've had tremendous success. And when you've had success, other people from other schools are going to try to come in and buy that success away. And you just kind of have to be careful, man, because sometimes you have a great thing and you leave to go try to do something great somewhere else. You have to start over, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We've had some players that left here last year that are calling, hey, can I come back? And, so you have to be careful. The grass isn't always greener, but we want those guys back. They've had success. You have that second bucket of guys who they've had some success maybe, but they haven't had what they want. And, we just tell them, hey, it's going to happen. Your success is coming. Just got to hang in there. Sort of like Emmett did. Mm-hmm. He went in the portal for a little bit last year and then decided, you know what, I think this is the right place. And thank goodness he did, right? Imagine if he hadn't been here, what he would have missed out on. And then there's a third bucket of guys like, hey, you know what? Kind of like I was at Penn State. I was a walk-on that was never really going to get on the field. Maybe I'd play on kickoff return. But, to me, that was I knew I wanted to be a coach, and that was right for me. And so we're just kind of working with all 3 groups. At the same time, the portal's not open. Some people are declaring for it. You're evaluating all this tape, so when January 2nd comes and guys are officially in the portal, you have a tape, built up on each guy and, your evaluation and who are the guys that we feel like we need to go get. And because of what we've done over the previous 3 years, signing so many high school kids, and because we have a big roster, we're one of the youngest teams in the Big Ten, if not the youngest team in the Big Ten. We don't need to go out and sign 20 guys. What we need to do is we need to get a couple difference makers that can make those plays that get you over the hump, that can come in and assimilate into the team that we have, and help us go from where we are right now to where we want to be. And I take the last 2 games out of it. We have to own those, but that's a different issue. But I always go back to the Michigan game. We lose by 3. I go back to the USC game. We lose by 4. And who can we add to our team? Be it a guy on our team that we have to just get better, be it a high school kid that we signed, or now as we get to the portal, which portal guys can we bring in that can help us score one more touchdown or make one more stop so that we win those games? And so it's a methodical process. It takes a ton of time. Guys, our personnel department has been working on it forever. And when the second hits and the portal hits, it'll be a crazy time. And you know what? There'll be some guys in our team that hit the portal, and people. We have a great program. It's a great place. Pretty much all of our guys are happy to be here. But sometimes you need to go see if there's a better opportunity for you because you're just not getting on the field here. And we'll help all those guys that we can help.
Final one on the portal piece, but the way Nebraska is situated now from an NIL standpoint, you have the relationship with Playfly Sports that helps out now. 1890s winding down. Financially, we had Troy Dannon in here last night just talking about how Nebraska's in a good place financially to go out there and at least compete with all these schools for all these guys. Do you feel like you're in a really good spot now to compete in this free market, this wild, wild west that's been created with anybody who may be out there?
Yeah, this will be the first year that we're, on the higher end of the market. We might not be where Texas and Texas A&M and some of those people are, but we're right there. We're right below that, right? And so, and maybe we are there. I don't know exactly what they have, but we're at a really high level, and that's a credit to Troy, the work that he's done. Revenue sharing is now in place. We have a chance to go out and again, you're also talking about retaining your own players. For every player that we lose that goes somewhere else and has 4 or 5 sacks or has a couple plays, like those are plays we don't want to lose those guys. That accumulates over time, so we want to keep our players that can help us. And I think a big piece of that is the opportunities in Nebraska. Like, what's different about Nebraska? Well, our fan base is unlike anything else. And so many of the people that support our program have businesses. And so why not have Becca Alec? Why not have Harper Murray? Why not have Rink? Why not have Sam? Why not have all the Jordy Ball? Why not have our athletes advertise for the businesses we have in this state? They don't necessarily need to be the face of the program, but between social media, between all the different opportunities for true NIL, that's a difference maker in our program. It's one of the things, when you say what does Nebraska have? We have a fan base that cares about our student athletes, and we have a donor base that has businesses that can support our student athletes. And so mobilizing some of that, and I think honestly, the possibilities are endless. I want to be able to sit there with a recruit and say, listen, if you come to Nebraska, yes, we'll give you a good revenue sharing deal, and you'll have good opportunities. But man, if you're a good player and you represent yourself the right way, if you're about the right things, and our guys are about the right things, there are going to be businesses, there are going to be corporations, there are going to be all kinds of groups that want you to come speak, that want you to support their company online, social media, all those different things. And so it's a differentiator for us. It'll help us in the portal. And, make no mistake, having money does not mean you're going to have a good team. But if you don't have money, it's pretty hard to have a good team, right? Mm-hmm. And so, or maintain a good team. And so kudos to what's happened here. Kudos to the Pede family for what they did with 1890. I mean, if they haven't done what they've done, we're in a really bad spot. And, you look at what 1890 did, and you look at the era of athletics that we're in right now. I mean, volleyball has the best players in the world, and we're an amazing team, and I love that team. I'm grateful for that team. Basketball has really good players, and they're playing a great women's basketball is doing a great job. Wrestling, I mean, baseball's going to have a great season. Softball, great teams are made up of great players, and that's the new model. And we're, to me, in a really, really good time in Husker athletics right now, where we're competing for championships. We haven't competed for a championship. But we are in back-to-back bowl games, which did take a long time to get back to this point. And you have to get to this point before you can get to the next one. And I think it's all first the Pede family, but now with Troy and Playfly and all those people are doing. And I would just encourage everyone out there. A lot of times people will tell me, I don't know that I believe in NIL. There's two choices. Either we do this to be successful, or we don't do it and we just become, a group of 4 team. Like, there is no in between. You cannot not do the money financial part of it and expect to have a good team. And so we all have to just embrace it, buy into it. And I think Nebraska's fan base and donor base can accelerate it, and we could be really one of the leaders.
Transitioning a bit to the bowl game now. You got a 10-win team. Utah, the head coach, Kyle Whittingham, what a career. He's stepping down as the head coach. They have a head coach in waiting there. But it's a heavy run team, quarterback run team, good defense, Outland winners. Their right tackle, 2 NFL first-round picks most likely on their offensive line. That's a lot that pops on the tape in what you guys are going to take on here at the end of the month.
Yeah, I would say that if you're sitting on the outside, probably a lot of people won't give us much of a chance. The thing I'll say is we have a good football team, and we wish we'd have beat Michigan and USC. We have to try to improve. We fell apart at the end of the year for a lot of different reasons, and I think I did an admirable job of coming out and saying, hey, put that on me. I've gone out, whether it's internally that people don't know about or externally, making some staff changes to try to get over the hump on that for next year. But I think we're going to play really well. Our guys want to be in the game. They see, Texas A&M went to the game last year, and even though I think they ended up losing to USC, they ended up having a really good season. USC went to the game. They ended up finishing 9-3 this year. This is a great springboard into taking the program to another level. And we don't want to end the season on defense the way we did. Phil Snow, I've been with Coach Snow a long time. He's not going to tolerate giving up 40 points. Now, if they're that much better than us, then we'll just go back to the drawing board this offseason and we'll hit the portal. We'll develop our players and we'll try to get better for next year. But I think you're going to see our team play, and I think you're going to see our team compete. We know what it's like to play in the Big Ten. We know how hard it is. And we faced 4 ranked teams. We didn't beat those ranked teams. Utah faced 2 ranked teams. They didn't beat those 2 ranked teams. And so they're a ranked team. Congratulations to them. We'll have to go play them, and we'll have to go battle them. It's a great opportunity for us to finish the season on a high note. And I have the utmost respect for them. And you're right, their offense is dynamic. They score 40 points against everybody. So what a great opportunity for our defense to right some wrongs and go out there and try to stop the run and make some plays on defense.
Final one, Coach, but Bud Crawford tweeted out yesterday he's going to retire. So big news in the boxing world, but what a way to go out, for him.
Yeah, I love Bud. I'm just going to wait for him to come back, man. If he does go out, then he goes out on top. As I've said before, like, you talk about a guy that doesn't care what people think. Talk about a guy that went out there and said, you know what, I'm here for all this. I'm here for all the smoke. I want to be the guy that goes out and does it. I was out there today, and one of our players was like, Coach, how you doing, man? I know people are getting on you right now, but I said, I'm here for all of it. You can't do anything great in life. You can't do anything great in life without taking a lot of criticism and without taking a lot of chances. And Bud's really inspired that within me. And so I hope that he can. I still hold out hope that Bud fights in Memorial Stadium at some point. So Bud, take some time off, man. Go relax. Go take a trip, and then come back and fight in the stadium. But I love Bud Crawford. He's been so good to us, so good to the state, so good to the city of Omaha, so good to the kids that within his community. If he is done, I got to see his last fight.
Yeah.
If he's not done, I'll see him in the stadium.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you hopping in. Of course, head coach, but D-tackle coach, because you got the backwards hat on right now. So it's doing good work and getting ready for this bowl game. We look forward to seeing you out in Vegas.
I look forward to seeing all the Husker fans out in Vegas. It's been a long time to have this type of a bowl game trip, and so I hope everyone goes out there, has a ton of fun. I hope they all, I don't gamble, but if they do gamble, I hope they win slot machines. And let's go play this game, and let's go play a ranked team and see what we can do.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, brother.
We continue on the show right after this.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play, knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. but you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Wrap Up the Year sales event. Lease the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn for $299 per month, backed by America's best-in-class full-size truck powertrain limited warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. 42 months per 5,000 miles per year with approved credit, tax, title, license extra for well-qualified returning lessees. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number BC250821. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. Direct TV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly final segment. Just a couple minutes left here in our final segment here of hour number 1. Do want to dive into fantastic conversation, fascinating with Coach Rhule. Lots to get into, but we don't have time here in this final segment, so we'll save that talk and recap discussion for at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. But I had to make sure and mention tonight that you officially met Rhonda Revelle yesterday. They were dropping off their annual cookie, their warm cookies. They go around the athletics department and say thank you to everyone that contributes, and you got to meet her yesterday.
It was, boy, what a great first meeting. You know, first impressions are everything, and that was a great first impression for me with Coach. And they were, I told her, so she brought the cookies. I guess she had texted you that she was coming by. She said, where's Jess? Where's Jess? You know, Jess is probably doing one of a million things. So I said, I'll take them. I don't think Jess is ever going to see these, though. The aroma was fantastic. I said, Coach, these are just absolutely fantastic. I didn't have one yet. Josh had a couple. I think Camden had a couple. But it was an assortment of different types of cookies. I know you're not a big oatmeal.
No,
but they were in there.
Yeah,
they
have peanut butter,
M&Ms.
chocolate chip. Again, that's kind of what they do. They bring it every year, so it's awesome.
They were wheeling around a cart. It's cool.
She texted me and she said that you said that I would never see those cookies, but I did. I said, I'm glad you officially got to meet Kyle. I said, he's also a big softball guy, and she was fired up about that. We talked about finding ways to make sure that they're on the network as much as possible. We actually had that discussion this week, and boy, she's fired up. And hey, tickets are on sale to see softball inside Bowling. They were one of the most attended teams in the Big Ten and in the country, and that's going to be a fun season this year.
Yeah, I think the expectation is preseason top 10, and they have the offense. Obviously, they have the star pitcher and everything, so they have the formula to be a team that can get back to where they've been as super regional. Now it's to make that next step.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Hour 2 up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Good evening, Husker Nation. I'm David Swotek reporting from our studio, and the Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. First, Emmett Johnson was named a first-team All-American all-purpose back by Sporting News today. He has also received a first-team All-American choice by Sports Illustrated, On3, and CBSSports.com. Also in volleyball news, 4 Huskers were named to the AVCA All-America teams today. Andy Jackson, Harper Murray, and Bergen Riley were named to the first-team honors, while Rebecca Alec was named to the second team. These 4 selections bring their nation-leading total to 111 all-time. The Sports Ticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Lawrence to throw it in. Garcia runs to it. Catching it inbounds is Hoiberg. 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Hoiberg across the division line. We got 10, 9. Everybody flat along the baseline except for Sam out into the timeline. 5 seconds to go. Sam drives the ball, kicks it. It is Lawrence, puts it up. God! 2 seconds to go. Inbounds play. I'm going to pass out. The game is over. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it.
Ball fake on Finnegan. Spins around. Flips it back out top. Kennedy Williams. Shot clock at 11. Game clock at 37. Kennedy will step into a 3. Top of the key. Big get in. You betcha. A CBA banker for the freshman.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to introduce you with the first interview, official interview with Geep Wade, the new offensive line coach. And we both had a chance to chat with him. I think the social media part or the digital team with Husker football going to be posting that interview coming up on Friday, but I think Husker fans are going to really like what he has to say and his mentality and approach to coaching the offensive line.
Yeah, he's unique, and I told Coach Rhule when we were talking about Geep, I said, the first thing I noticed is he's a relationships guy. The way he coaches, he's not going to, I'm sure he's going to be animated, but he's not a yeller and a screamer. He's somebody who's going to coach the guys. He loves a lot on his guys, and it shows with what he's done at Georgia Tech. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. He's been a lot of different places. I think Dana Holgerson crossed paths with him when he was coaching at when Geep was coaching at Marshall. They coached against each other. So he's been a lot of different places, has a lot of experience. But these last 3 years at Georgia Tech, a run-heavy team, what they've been able to do, one in the quarterback run game, but yards per carry, consistency on the offensive line is it's just been next level. So you would have to imagine that this hire is going to help take the offensive line to the next step.
Okay, so that conversation here coming up in just a few minutes, but did want to dive into some of the big takeaways from the conversation you just had with Coach Rhule there in hour number 1. And he seems like he's got a new energy that he's actually being a position coach right now.
Yeah, it's unique. He came in here, the backwards hat. He first took the hat off. Is like, I'm like, let's put the hat on. You're a position coach now. You're a D-tackle coach. Him and Phil Simpson are really coaching up the D-tackles. And so he flips it back. I made the joke that you haven't, I don't know how much you watch The Office, but a lot of people out there will get the reference. It was like he was Date Michael Scott, when he put on the Kangol hat. It's just a different vibe, but he's having a lot of fun. I was out of practice, been out of practice probably 3 times this week. The energy and effort, and a lot of it is the scout team guys. I think as we get closer, those guys in the black shirts, the starters for offense as well, will get out there and get more reps. It'll become a normal game week. And then once you get out to Vegas, you'll have your practices, I believe, at Bishop Gorman. You'll have more walkthroughs. But right now is a crucial time for some of these developmental projects. And one of the things that we talked about was, hey, look, as a fan, you want to go out there and we talk about transfer portal and money and you want to get this guy, that guy. Well, wait a second. You recruited guys here to begin with because you had faith in the guys you brought in. There's a lot of young guys on this roster that you're also hoping develop. There's guys that they believe in that are already here. And I think sometimes in the transfer portal era, we forget that there's already help in-house that just has to be developed. And now this is a crucial time, and he's getting after it, doing all his technique down in the IPF. And I just think it's a crazy time in general for him. We talked a little bit about what this next, starting January 2nd, what that month is going to look like for him, the evaluation with Pat Stewart. I think they have a good idea of how they want to attack it. But it's just hard because you don't know exactly. You have an idea of who might be available. You don't know exactly what kind of personnel is going to be available. So that's going to be an ever-changing situation. It's just a really unique time. And then, oh, by the way, you're going to play a top 15 team at the end of the month.
I know that the defensive line play really, really important to him. That's going to be interesting to see, what the approach is to getting a couple of guys out of the portal there. I know they're really, really excited about some of the young talent. They're just young, and some of them playing their first real snaps at college football and the Big Ten is just no joke. But I will say this: over the last couple of seasons, since he's been here, he's not a micromanager in terms of coming over and talking to the position coaches, but he does spend more time than most than he does any other position coming over to chat with the defensive line, whether that's dapping them up, hey, great job, or giving instruction. So I bet he is just absolutely loving getting to be hands-on with those guys.
You could see the smile on his face.
Yeah.
He absolutely loved it. He was working with some of the guys that had been injured all year and are starting to work their way back, wearing a green jersey and working with them after practice. He could just see it. And even some of the team sessions that they had, I think as a whole, it's a re-energized group. You look at a couple guys, and we mentioned in the conversation with Coach, Mekhi Nelson, Isaiah Mosey, how did they now use these next couple of weeks, this month really, since you play Iowa up into the bowl game? It's about a month's time. How do they now utilize being the guy? A lot of it is sitting and waiting, and you either stay in that situation or you find that next spot that you're going to play right away. Well, they've waited their time. They're now going to get an opportunity against a very good team, although not a very good run defense in Utah. How do they use these practices, use this Las Vegas Bowl? Those are the two critical names that I look at and say this is their biggest opportunity to make a massive step in their evaluation as to what are they going to be on that depth chart heading into next year.
For the record, we do picks of players that are clicks to pick or picks to click every week, and it's sponsored, and we have a group text going on, and it's Kyle always is the first one to respond with his guy.
And I always pick the wrong one.
And the minute that Emmett announced that he's going to the NFL,
oh, yeah, that's right, you did.
That stands. I've got Mekhi Nelson.
I don't know if Cassidy officially marked that down, so
I've got Mekhi Nelson.
You got Mekhi? Okay, I'll go Isaiah.
Who scores the first rushing touchdown? TJ, Mekhi, or Mosey, Ives?
I probably... If you're going with Mekhi, then I would have to go with Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what TJ, how much he's going to want to take off and run, considering the tender hamstring and all that. Although he's working back to health, he's been getting ready to go. If I have to bet, I'm not a betting man, I would probably go with Isaiah. I think I'm going to go head to head with you though in the player of the game.
So you're going other.
I think I'm going to go Isaiah.
Okay. All right.
Go right up against you.
Hey, speaking of running backs, Emmett Johnson, another All-American honor for him. And he's going to be here tomorrow before he heads off. And I know he's going to come to the bowl game, so he'll be on the sideline. You could not keep him away from that.
No, he's at practice all the time. Still see him.
Cheering on his guys. Yeah, he's been at every basketball game, I think, since the season ended, both men's and women's. So he's been everywhere. He loves this place. He's going to be one of those Huskers that I think frequents Nebraska as much and as often as he can. But he's going to be here tomorrow doing some other stuff for internal purposes. And so we're going to get a chance to chat with him and kind of recap everything. And I'll ask him that question too.
Who his pick to click is going to be?
Who might score the first rushing touchdown?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably won't answer it, but I'll at least ask him.
No, he won't. But he was one of the best interviews that I did since I've been here. I remember having him in studio before one of the games. And he is a story of sticking it out. right? He could have gone somewhere else, but would he have had the same impact somewhere else than he had here this year? His ability to stay healthy, his ability to not take that big hit, his ability, he's not like a burner, like a jet quick guy, but he finds a way to get yardage because he's just so good in small spaces, and that's where I think will be utilized well at the next level. And I'm just excited for him.
And another thing that we didn't talk about because, hey, we don't want to jinx it, but he did a really good job holding on to the football.
Yeah, I think I can only remember one he lost early. It was Akron or Houston. Might have been Akron.
He was at the goal line,
down
right?
at the goal line.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's part of the evaluation process for him. So really, really excited. I saw him when I was sitting next to Eckler at, I think it was Wisconsin-Nebraska men's game. It was me, Emmett, and Eckler sitting at one of the seats behind the hoop. So I'm excited for him.
So we'll have a chance to chat with him. We'll bring you that conversation at some point here, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We've got a lot going on here. A lot.
And a week with no games.
For a week that I thought, I was texting you frantically on Sunday, like, how are we going to fill this week with no volleyball? And then we suddenly have been overloaded.
I'll say this, Jess. Shout out to Keith Mann because usually places I've been and I think a lot of places don't make coaches and players as available as Nebraska does.
Yeah.
And I think that's commendable as to the efforts that Keith Mann does to put people out there. Coach Rhule's talking to the media on Friday. He didn't need to have him come in here and talk today, but he did it because he knows it's good for the network and to have him talk to me. So shout out to Keith Mann because he makes a lot of these players and coaches available.
Absolutely. We were appreciative, too, because it's also going to allow for us to both be able to get home around Christmas.
How about that?
So
yeah.
Thanks, Keith. Appreciate
By the way,
it.
the
Thanks
weather
for the Christmas
today,
present.
It's I'll take this weather we've had the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Every single day.
You still have your coat on, no indoors.
Well, it's like a smaller
it's a vest.
coat.
It's like a vest. Okay.
I love this,
All right.
by the way. 50 degrees.
We'll allow it.
64 degrees next week, Jess. Just saying.
I know.
57 high next week.
Then what's it going to be when you get over to the
Yeah,
East
that's
Coast?
a good idea. It'll probably be about 20 degrees. It's going to be colder when I get back to New Jersey, so I
At least
can't
there's
escape
not as much wind there, right?
No. I guess there's too many buildings for that.
Okay, so I did one more thing before we get to the interview with Coach Wade. But did you get a sense at all for, when he was talking about TJ Lateef and, what potentially this program could look like with TJ as the guy? Did you get a sense of kind of where he stands there and what they might do at the portal?
Yeah, I think they're going to bring in a quarterback no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's exactly what we talked about yesterday. Is it going to be an alpha 1 or is it going to be a 1A to TJ Lateef's 1? I think that's the decision they have to make. Maybe they've made that decision already. He's not going to tell me that answer on December 17th. They have more time to think about that. And
I texted you and said, what quarterback are they going to go for?
He ain't telling me that. He'll tell me once it's signed maybe. But so I think TJ, my question to him was, is he somebody who embraces competition? Because no matter what, I think there's a 99.9% chance that TJ Lateef is going to be in a competition, whether it's more of a percentage that he can win the starting job or, just throw out a name. Do they bring in a Brendan Sorsby or a DJ Lagway where it's more understood, okay, this is the high-price guy coming in and we have TJ Lateef who's going to be a high-price backup. So depending on the situation, we'll see what TJ has going in, but for me, he's my thing I wanted to get across with Coach Rhule is he a competitor that's going to find this situation that he's going to walk into in spring ball and embrace it? And he said, absolutely. We believe in TJ Lateef. This is Coach Rhule. We saw what he did at UCLA. We saw some of the throws he made against Penn State. We even saw some of the throws and things he did against Iowa, really tough defenses. And also part of that evaluation is not done yet. You got Utah, and is he close to 100%? I think he's getting healthier. But that evaluation is part of 2025 for TJ Lateef is not done quite yet.
I wonder if our invite to practices extends to some of these evaluation brainstorms.
Yeah, I can say absolutely not. That is.
It would be fascinating to hear, some of when you're talking about obviously putting a team together with the resources that you have and what you are able to go do. And we've heard, Pat Stewart told us on signing day, we're going to go get the best available. And you want.
That's what Dana said yesterday. Too.
So it's is the best available? Is that an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, quarterback? At what point, where does that stack up for you? Is it a need thing? Is it just, hey, if we have a chance to get the number 1 defensive tackle out of the portal, is that kind of where you move full speed ahead on? But I would love to be a fly on the
Could
wall.
be a Netflix documentary. I mean, it's what they did with Hard Knocks, right?
Mhm.
Leading up to some of the, I know they had the offseason Hard Knocks with the Giants. That became a huge thing with Saquon Barkley and all of that. I think the Giants regret doing that. Do you do that at the college level? Who knows? But I think eventually, if it's moving towards more of a professional business model, I think it's a very interesting, throw that on a streaming service, an Amazon Prime or a Peacock, follow around Alabama or Nebraska in an offseason when you have to sign guys, NIL. I think that would be a fascinating watch.
Here's the thing, though, and going back to some of the things that we've talked about is, when Pat Stewart was saying, well, in the NFL, we know what the highest paid left tackle makes.
There's no market. Nothing's set.
So there's no way nobody's going to let you in behind that. What is it called? The behind the curtain. What's it saying?
Behind the curtain's a good saying.
Well,
that's the saying for you.
Yeah.
But I was talking to somebody yesterday who's heavily involved in NIL here at Nebraska, and they echoed there's you don't know what the market is, and you're only
and
dealing
you're being
with
told
agents.
something that might not be true.
Agents are lying through their teeth, and that's what they do. They want to get the best for their client, and they're making a commission off of what you're making them. So they want to make more. So you have people lying through their teeth. There's no market. There's no public market that's set, and that's where eventually we gotta make some of these things public contracts. They got to be signed to contracts moving forward, and that what the numbers are.
You got a sense, though, that he feels very, very confident going into this portal season with being able to target some of those big guys that everybody are going to be going for.
I was very calculated when talking to Troy and then talking to Coach today to give the fan something positive to chew on. Whether it's volleyball or Dylan going into the portal, there's been a lot of negative. So I wanted to hear it from the athletic director and the head football coach themselves when I'm asking them, do you have the resources, financial resources to compete? You're not going to win every player, but do you have the ability to compete with the Ohio States, the Texases? And Coach Rhule said, yeah, maybe Texas has a little bit more money, but we have the ability to compete for every high-priced player out there, and they do their evals, and whoever that is that comes in, it is what it is. But they are financially set up to succeed in this era right now.
Great stuff. All right, coming up next, we'll hear from the new offensive line coach, Geep Wade. Kyle had a chance to chat with him earlier this week. He has been all in, getting to know the offensive line, coaching those guys up. So we're going to introduce you to one of the newest additions to the Husker football staff here on Sports Nightly next. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Redefine your luxury car buying experience with Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Receive 1.99% APR for 60 months or 2.99% APR for 72 months on the full lineup of 2026 Genesis GV80s. Visit us online today. With approved credit, tax title license extra, when financed with Genesis Finance, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Contracting your premium diesel just got energized at Central Valley Ag. With CVA's Refer a Friend program, you and a friend can each earn $100 back. Refer a friend, that friend contracts a minimum of 1,000 gallons of premium diesel, and you both get a $100 credit. Power your performance with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and Roadmaster XL. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Luxury meets performance at Infinity of Omaha. Right now, during the Once in a Wintertime event, you'll receive 1.9% APR for 60 months or 3.9% APR for 72 months on the 2026 Infinity QX80 Sport. Visit our showroom or browse our inventory online at infinityofomaha.com. With approved credit, tax title license extra, when financed through Infinity Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. And number T9431113. Offer expires December 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at appliedconnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Welcome back into Sports Nightly. Kyle Crooks back with you and a very special guest. That is Geep Wade, new offensive line coach here for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Coach, welcome in. It's great to have you here in Lincoln. The resume, again, it speaks for itself. You've done a lot of great work with Georgia Tech, and really excited to have you here. And welcome. How does it feel?
Feels good to be here. I really would be remiss if I didn't say I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my time at Georgia Tech and Coach Key and what I learned there, and kind of gave me my first chance at this level, and had a bunch of great kids, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been here a week with these guys here, and got a great group here. Got a great group.
Yeah, Georgia Tech is just the latest stop in the journey, like many coaches. I mean, you've been in a lot of different places,
Yep.
a lot of different times. Just what have you learned along the way about yourself that has allowed you to become this successful coach and recruiter? There's a lot of stops that kind of lend itself to being to where you're at.
I was out of coaching one year in my resume, you can see, and I think that was the best thing I ever did. I had some opportunities to go some places. I didn't want to move my family twice within 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of set out and reflected during the COVID year. Then I went to App State, and the place kind of made me who I have become lately of, hey, how to recruit, what type of kids to recruit, and the toughness of the kids, just kind of the old school brand football. And that's kind of how I've led my life the last 4 years. And the great thing about Georgia Tech is I kind of did it my way, and it was successful. And I hope to bring that same effect here.
What does your way look like for the fans that are trying to get the magnifying glass and look into the program right now? What does Geep Wade's way look like?
Toughness. I tell the kids all the time, I'm going to coach you. I think a lot of people yell at people, hey, you didn't get your hand inside. No, that's my job to coach you. The only time I'm really going to get after you if you're not giving yourself effort, and that's when I told the group the first time I got here, we can be the hardest playing unit in the country. And no disrespect to anybody else, but that's what Coach Rhule wants. That's what I want for my group. So we're going to play hard. We're going to play nasty, and my job is to coach them on the fundamental part of it. If we can be the hardest playing unit and we can be the most fundamentally sound, we'll win a lot of games.
Evaluation of, I'm sure you went through some of the tape of this past year for Nebraska and what currently is on the roster. You got here pretty quick. I mean, you've been around this team for a little bit now. What's your evaluation of what you have here in the offensive line room?
Kids want to win. They're tough. They work their tails off. I came in, I told all the young coaches, let me evaluate these guys. Don't tell me anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
Give everybody a fair shot. I think sometimes people thrive when they get new, fresh changes. This is new for me. I was at somewhere for 3 years, so this is new for me. This is new for them. And, I told these kids it's a freaking honor to be here, and I'll wake up every day and think and say it to myself. It's an honor.
Relationships are the most important part of this.
All that matters.
Whether it's in recruiting or building the guys you have now. How's that gone, building the relationships here in a week plus?
Well, I told him, I promise you, I'll earn your trust. But that's what it's all about, man. If a player can trust you, then he'll play his butt off for you. And I think Coach Rhule, I think the players trust Coach Rhule and they play hard for him. And but my job's just that group. And it starts in recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
It starts in recruiting the right guys. And in Nebraska, I had some opportunities. I came here. I grew up in the 90s when this was Nebraska. So when Coach Rhule called me, I'm done. Just because of that stigma, that aura,
Mm-hmm.
that pridefulness of tradition of offensive line play. So, we're not going to take a backseat to anybody in recruiting. We've already started, and that's going to be our mentality here.
Relationship with Coach Rhule. There was already a pre-existing relationship prior to you getting here. So when he makes that call, you mentioned it was pretty quick. What were those early conversations like? Was it just a quick conversation when he first reached out?
It was a quick conversation, and Coach Rhule's very to the point. If you don't want to be here, I'm moving on. That's what. And I said, no, sir, Coach, I want to be there. And I never even looked at the place. I never even Googled the place. And I had some other opportunities that I thought would go through. And then when he called, it was a no-brainer just to go home and tell my wife and. We're going to move to Lincoln, Nebraska. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, okay, so.
How was that phone call?
That took a little bit longer at night. We sat around the dining room table with my kids. I got a 14-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
But they love this too. And, a big thing, I want my 9-year-old to be around here and grow up, and Coach Rhule, they can come to practice sometimes in spring and summer. So that means a lot to me. That really does as my kids get older.
Development of offensive linemen. A lot of people say, just go in the transfer portal and get an offensive line. It's not easy to do.
No.
I think offensive line, more than any other position, has to be developed
organically.
Through high school recruiting, organically, relationships. You agree with that?
100%. And we're at Nebraska where we should organically do it. Now, here's the issue that people don't understand is now the portal affects kind of sometimes our room. When I coach 16 to 18 people and only can play 5 to 7, and some people see it, and if they, don't see a place for them to play here, that's where the portal can help kids out. Where you can't play, I can't play everybody, and especially in my position. So that's where it's kind of I've learned and grown with the portal is really through the attrition of your own group.
Success you had at Georgia Tech, pretty apparent over the last handful of years. What was the identity of those offensive lines at Georgia Tech?
Toughest group in the country. I told them every day. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a right guard as All-American, Keelan Rutledge. He came from a group of 5 school and that I had some relationships with. And he came there, and came on a visit to us and was leaving, going to Clemson down the road. He had a wreck, and he tore his toe off from his foot. Had to have an emergency surgery. And he came in, and his toe got infected. But and Coach Key was always like, hey, Geep signed a kid with 9 toes. I was like, Coach, he'll beat anybody in this room. It's just the mentality. And so he turned out to be a 2-year starter for us and was going to play in the NFL. But it's the mentality of when I meet somebody, guys that love life, not just love football. You got to have tough guys that love life that can fight through adversity. Because that's, guys, when you play in the Big Ten for 14, 15 weeks in a season, you got to have the mindset. And that's what we're looking for here. Stars, they don't matter. Toughness matters.
And that's when it goes to the relationship building in recruiting and seeing some of these guys, their backstories, and how they've gone through a lot in their life to get to where they are. I'm sure in recruiting you sort of look at, okay, how much adversity has this guy dealt with when we bring somebody in, because it tells you a lot about their character.
It does. You can honestly meet a guy for about 10 minutes and know, okay, this is our type guy.
Yeah.
And it's not that hard. And development's huge. That's why Lonnie's here, Coach Teasley.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you got to think some coaches on the road in January and May and April, and development's a huge piece. That there's also other assistants here.
What's the biggest area that is needed to build an offensive line to start it out? Is it the strength and conditioning? Is it just reps? Is it film? What do you need to do to make sure that somebody's ready to get out on the field?
Honestly, we talk about every rep is a bank, and you're just putting bank reps and bank reps and bank reps. So it's reps, it's weight room, it's getting bigger. I tell the kids all the time, to be the best you can be, you've got to work on your deficiencies, not what you do good. A lot of kids want to do what they do good. Work on things that can make you a better player that you don't do well. But if every rep matters. That's something. Every walkthrough rep, every meeting rep, and that will be the development of a young man.
Chatting with Geep Wade, new offensive line coach here for the Huskers. In terms of cross-training players, is that a big emphasis for you, where a guy can play tackle, guard, can move around? Is that what you want to do? And when you mold a guy from foundation?
You would love for kids to have position flexibility. Which is, you can play guard, tackle, that. And it's like you're going to start your 5, but your 6th guy coming in might not be the backup if somebody goes down. It's the cross-train, like you said. Then the next best guy might go in and that guy goes down to guard, or vice versa. The biggest thing, what I've learned the last 4 or 5 years, is center position. It's hard to teach someone to snap the football. I'm really big on signing centers, not making centers. And that's something I've learned, through some trial and errors of the past. And, we've got a couple here, which have been good. Justin played guard for us, all guys. And then, so that's something moving forward in recruiting, is trying to sign a true center.
So what's the role here now as you get ready for the bowl game? Is this just you're fully in and now you're getting ready on staff to coach a bowl game and get ready for Utah? Is that how this works?
I guess it is. It's the best thing to do is just throw you in there. I was getting ready for another bowl game, and now I'm getting ready for another bowl game. But, that's the best way to do it, just throw you in there and learn the offense. I mean, I know the offense. I just don't know the ins and outs of it yet, and these kids have been great at practice, and Coach Satt and Coach Holgerson have, really kind of caught me up to it pretty fast. But I'm excited. I told the group we want to be the hardest playing unit in the country that December 31st.
Who are some of your mentors in coaching just throughout the years?
Well, I GA'd for Coach Fulmer when I was a young coach 20 years ago. That's kind of where it was. And then mentors, offensive line-wise, we're all kind of a fraternity. Coach Rhule. Coach Rhule's a D-line coach and an O-line coach.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell him that. I always joke with him about that. But he was an assistant coach for the Giants. And so Coach Rhule, Sean Clark, who just passed away, was my head coach at App State, really taught me a lot of the mentality part, what type of kids. We weren't going to make – if we didn't feel right on a kid, we weren't going to do it. And I've learned a lot about that, and take just kids that love football. And then Coach Key, I learned a lot. I became a better coach at Georgia Tech because of Brent. And, so those are kind of it. But you kind of mold yourself.
Sure.
And then as a young coach, I tell these young coaches all the time, you can't do everything. You got to have a belief system. And I've kind of do what I do. You know what I mean?
When did the coaching bug hit you? Was it when you were a player? Did you know when you were a player that, okay, eventually this is what I'm going to do for a career?
Knew it. I skipped class one day and went to my head coach. I played at Chattanooga. I was a sophomore, and I went to my head coach, and I said, I don't know if I can live without it. And that's what I told him. He says, I'll hire you, and he hired me. And then I went to GA for Coach Fulmer at Tennessee. Then I went to Western Carolina for a little bit with Marcus and Matt. So we've kind of crossed paths, but the competitive nature in you is why we do this.
Mm-hmm. You have everything moved over here to
Not
Lincoln?
even close. Not even close. I'm staying with Sat right now.
A little different than the Atlanta area, right?
Yeah, a little different. That's one thing I won't miss either.
The traffic?
It's not the traffic. It's when you take your son to a 6 o'clock baseball practice and you got to leave your house at 5 to go 7 miles, and then it kind of wears on you a little bit.
Have you tried Runza yet? That's the big thing here in Nebraska.
I did it with Satterfield last night.
You did it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is my first year here, and I still haven't done it. People get on me. So you know already the traditions. You're ready to go. You already had a Runza. How was it?
it was good. I'm just ready to. I'm ready to play hard on December 31st.
You checked out the training table yet, by the way?
I have.
It's pretty awesome.
Right now, I'm missing it because of y'all, but I'm good.
we gotta let you go.
I can miss a meal or something, so I'm all good, man.
Well, Coach, welcome to Nebraska. I know fans are just fired up to get you
Excited.
in here, and I know you're fired up to be here. You've been here for a little bit now, getting ready for the bowl game. So congratulations on this new venture in your life, and we welcome you to the Huskers.
Never been so excited, man. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Offensive line coach Geep Wade, appreciate him joining us here on Sports Nightly. We're back with more right after this.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Contracting your premium diesel just got energized at Central Valley Ag. With CVA's Refer a Friend program, you and a friend can each earn $100 back. Refer a friend, that friend contracts a minimum of 1,000 gallons of premium diesel, and you both get a $100 credit. Power your performance with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and Roadmaster XL. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Jessica Coody here with Kyle Crooks. Great conversation there with Geep Wade, the new offensive line coach. Number one takeaway from that conversation.
He's just a unique personality, loves ball. He's a recruiter, 24/7, 365, exactly what you need in college football nowadays, really anytime. But his resume speaks for itself. You look at the numbers and what he was able to do at Georgia Tech. You got an elite offensive line coach that understands the history, understands the passion of this fan base. I think it's a really good fit at, as we know, a very crucial time for Coach Rhule and this staff and this program. I think he's made a couple of really good hires that have been publicly announced with Coach Orich and Coach, of course, Geep Wade. So very, very impressed. There's a reason that the first phone call for the offensive line coach was made to Geep, and he didn't hesitate.
Yeah, and I asked him who are his biggest mentors. Matt Rhule was one of those. So they go back a long way, so know they're going to be on the same page. And I asked our resident offensive line guru, Jeremiah Searles, about that. And, you know, he pointed to, of course, he's the film nerd and does all of the scouts, dives into basically every offensive lineman that's potentially going to the NFL. And he talked about just the development and that part of getting those guys. Georgia Tech has multiple guys that are in the conversation of getting drafted, and they've been there and they were under Geep. So just that to me is that was big for Searles when he was talking about that. Just the ability to be able to get guys to where they're being, in those conversations with playing at the next level in the NFL and getting them, because you don't come in as NFL offensive lineman, right? You've got to build that. And so he was very complimentary of the development part of it, which is absolutely, I mean, you just got to do it. You got to do it.
And, ever since the reports were out there that he was going to join Nebraska, I mean, he was at practice. Mm-hmm. He was here right away in Lincoln. And, it's a tight industry. I had Andy Demetra, who's the voice of Georgia Tech, email me and talk about Geep and say that he's an incredible coach, and you'll see an air mattress in his office pretty soon because he lives in the facility. He's just that type of guy that has infectious spirit, energy about him, and I think he's gonna breed a different kind of toughness and work close with everybody on that staff. I know Dana's excited to work with him and everybody.
That sounds exactly like the head coach. Just
yeah,
not getting much sleep and eat, breathing, and sleeping it. Tyler Knock spoke with the media yesterday, and he was great. I know a lot of the local media raved about his appearance at the podium, and I appreciated what he said. And again, Coach Rhule has said it, very appreciative of Donovan Raiola and the job that he did, and he obviously did a great job recruiting some of this young talent that Geep's not going to get to work with, and Geep was very complimentary of the guys that are already in the room. But Tyler talked about that. The technique is a little bit different. Obviously, what Donnie did was a little bit. Not I guess I don't want to say unorthodox, but not everybody does it.
Check one two. Check
it's a little bit of a
How's
change.
that?
It's going to be a hybrid in the bowl game before they completely go all in.
The better. I just turned the mic all the way up, like it's.
Wade, but,
I'm looking at the meter. I don't know if you see that, but it's like red.
We're excited about
I guess it's
got to
be turned up
all
the way.
He's already implemented in that offensive line room.
Yeah, and it's an interesting game for Tyler Knock, playing his old team. I believe grew up in Salt Lake City.
Does it sound good? Is it?
He knows a lot of guys on that Utah team, and knows Coach Whittingham as well. He's going to be a part of his last
let
game.
me know when count me in when I'm supposed to go on, and then I know when to get out. I'll have a clock in front of me at 57:30.
I was walking to the training table. And he said, "This is the Tyler Knock legacy game." I said, "You're dang right. Like he's fired up to play in this game."
We should start a game on the number of times we mentioned the training table in a show every night.
Please do. 3.5 is the over/under.
Take the over every night, especially you talk to every coach about it, every player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and they all are glowing just as much as I am. I'm out here recruiting the training table,
check.
Hey, if
up.
they ever need anybody to sell the training table, just hit up Kyle. Kyle, you need an NIL deal with the training table.
Yep,
please.
You do it for free.
I don't have an agent either. You have to deal with.
I don't have any headphones, or else
another thing that I think that I took away from my conversation with Coach Wade is just simplifying it. It can get overly complicated, but and at the core of it is, hey, we want to be physical, get a hat on a hat, and he sounds like a authentic offensive line coach, just one of those guys that he played it, he's been in it basically his entire coaching career, but A lot of it is about the mentality and, making sure that you are absolutely destroying the guy in front of you.
He played at Chattanooga. That was his playing days, but he's coached everywhere. He was a grad assistant going all the way back to Tennessee in 2004. Coached at Midwestern State in 2005, UT Martin, and coached at Chattanooga, Marshall, Middle Tennessee, East Carolina, UT Martin, Georgia Southern, App State, Georgia Tech. Like this profession is not for the faint of heart, and he's certainly not lacking any sort of experience that it takes to take this to the next level. So really excited for him, and he said it's a lot different than having to deal with Atlanta area traffic than when you're driving around here Lincoln. So.
Well, as we've heard, even the head coach talk about some of the construction areas get a little dicey.
It ain't Atlanta. You can have everything stop. No stoplights work in Lincoln and still be better than Atlanta.
All right, got to get to a break. We are back to wrap up the show next.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Getting an opportunity to talk with Coach Rhule today and getting him in studio for that 30-minute conversation. There was a lot certainly to chew on there from that. We talked a lot about the transfer portal, what it's going to look like starting on January 2nd, and what's on the horizon with the bowl game. And it's an incredible opponent. Just going through Utah and watching some of their film here tonight and over the last few days, it's a team that, again, I would assume that probably won't have a whole lot of opt-outs, and I think it's going to be the same case here for Nebraska, even with Emmett Johnson not being able to play, Rocco Spindler not being able to play. There's a large portion of this roster, all of it, that has a lot to prove, including some of the older guys as they look to make their mark for what could be that next level and the NFL. Great to hear from Geep Wade, his first introduction to Husker Nation. You could just sense the excitement, the passion that he has for this place. He knows the history, and he's leaving an opportunity at Georgia Tech where he had a lot of success over 3 seasons in what was a run game that was one of the best in the country over the last 3 years. So he's sort of been thrown into all of this. When it was rumored that he was going to be a part of this Husker program,
he was already at practice doing his thing. So he's had an opportunity to build relationships. And that's the one big word that I think of when I got the chance to meet and talk with Geep Wade in studio, that he is massive into relationships. He's already heavy into the recruiting and building classes of the future. He'll be a big part, I would assume, of what the transfer portal efforts are when it comes to building an offensive line and what you already have. I think it's a very good base of talent that you already have here in Nebraska when it comes to the offensive line. All right, so looking ahead, we'll have a full 2 hours tomorrow of Sports Nightly. We'll also have 2 hours on Friday as well. So still plenty to talk about as we have over the next couple of days an opportunity to preview the weekend. Of course, basketball, both men's and women's, are red hot here this year, and a perfect start, best start in program history on the men's side. The women also, don't forget, in the AP Top 25, 23rd in the country. The Huskers continue to move up the AP polls at 15th in the country. They'll both play a doubleheader. It'll be a day-night doubleheader on Sunday. 11 a.m. will be the start to the women's game. We'll have the coverage of that starting at 10:30, and then an hour pregame, 7 o'clock. The Huskers men's team will be in action that night at 7 o'clock tip-off, so we'll be on the air at 6 local time, coming off sort of what was an incredible, one of the best moments in recent memory of Nebraska basketball history, and what we got to see on the men's side with the game-winning three from Jamarcus Lawrence, and the way that you were able to absorb those blows in the second half after giving up what was a 13-0 run going into the break. You see a big double-digit lead get salted away, and now you're staring at 11-0, best start in program history, 15th in the country, a net ranking sitting at 12th currently. So a lot of good things happening when we talk about Nebraska basketball. We'll continue to dive into the opponent, of course, in the Utah Utes, which will it's going to be a tough game. And Coach Rhule said it even in my conversation. Look, nobody's going to expect us to go in and win this game. I think there's a lot to prove. If you look into betting lines and those things, Nebraska probably will come in not just as an underdog, but as a sizable underdog, a team that might be looking at, a 14, 15-point spread when it goes into it, and that's how certain people might think of this game. But what I do know is it's going to be an inspired group. You look at two players specifically, Mekhi Nelson, Isaiah Mosey. How do they come in and sort of expand their role heading into next year? This is a big evaluation time for some of those guys, some of the younger guys on the offensive line, if they get the opportunity to get some snaps, especially on that defensive line. This has been a last couple of weeks that has been crucial for the development of this program, and specifically for those younger guys, the guys on the scout team, and finding a way to play a bigger role moving forward. And Coach Rhule has had a chance to coach up close and personal with those defensive tackles, and he's really enjoyed these last couple weeks as he's really gone hands-on with the defensive tackles specifically. I want to thank everybody for hopping on and listening in, watching in on the show. Appreciate Coach Rhule, appreciate Geep Wade, Jessica Coody as well, all our producers for helping us get on the air here tonight. We'll have a full 2 hours tomorrow and then 2 hours on Friday, so plenty of Husker sports to chat about as we take it into the weekend, getting closer to Christmas and the holidays. Appreciate everybody listening in. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick,
Slated, and F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's holiday pro power on board.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus zero down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and